Hi everyone, welcome back to Wanderer's Footsteps. And in this video, as some of you might know, Wanderer's Footsteps, it's not only a blog about traveling. It's a blog where I like to write and to talk about different subjects that I'm really passionate about, such as meditation, books, movies, and also all aspects of life. So in this video today, I thought since we are all in quarantine these times, why not share with you some of the best books that I have read so far. It might give you an idea if you are searching for something really nice to read during this month. So here we go. It's not gonna be 50 Shades of Grey. So let's begin with the first book, The Secret. The Secret is one of the first books that I have ever read. It was offered to me by a friend about 10 years ago, following a medical conditions that I had that forced me to go to the hospital for a few days. And so after I got out from the hospital, she told me that I should read The Secret and that this book will change my life, and I can tell you it surely has. So what is this book about? The Secret talks about what we call the law of attraction. If some of you do not know what it is, it's a theory that is based on the idea that you attract whatever you think of. So for example, if you think about positive thoughts in your mind, you attract positive things, and vice versa. It's like the mind is a magnet and we are all connected to the universe, and we can ask the universe for whatever we want. And this is what the book The Secret tells you about. There are lots of testimonials and methods that you can follow in order to get whatever you want in life. Should it be wealth, health, work, relationships, whatever you want. It's a great book that gives you an idea on how to always have a positive mindset, on how to live in the present, and how to be grateful for everything you have in life. Because these are the best ways to getting what you want. So there are lots of books nowadays that talk about the law of attraction. I have not read them all. I am sure that they are all also good. I'm not saying that this is the best one. I'm saying that this one, I read it and it works fine for me. There has been also many sequels to The Secret, like this book here is called The Power. There has been also another sequel, I think it's called The Magic. Anyway, for me, the book The Secret on its own is enough and it works fine for me. So this was book number 1. The second book I will be talking about today is called In Another Life, for the French writer Marc Lévy. I have the French edition of the book called La Prochaine Fois. It's a very amazing novel. Actually, it talks about two people called Clara and Jonathan. Jonathan is an artist who is in search for a long-lost painting, and Clara is also an artist who has a big gallery where she exposes lots of painting. The idea is that Jonathan meets with Clara in his search for this long-lost painting, and the thing is that these two people are sure that they have met somewhere in the past. However, both of them do not know where and when they have met, or from where do they know each other. And in reality, they had met in a past life more than 100 years ago. This book is a great, I can say, how do I say it? It's a great love story, romance story, but at the same time, it answers questions, let's say, about the afterlife, about the previous life, about, when you walk sometimes on the road and you have like a scene in front of you, and you think, wow, it's like I lived this scene sometime in my life. It's like a deja vu. It talks about the deja vu. It talks about all the memories that are still in our minds from the previous lives. It talks about how two souls that are really in love will always follow each other from one life to another. It's a really amazing book. The ending is so perfect. It's so surprising. And the characters in the book are characters that you really get used to them. Like when I was reading the book at the end, when I was at the last 50 or 40 pages, it's I kind of began to miss the characters. You live with the book. It's really amazing, and I really encourage you, if you like some romance, love story, but at the same time, some that it answers some different aspects about life. So this is a book, In Another Life, La Prochaine Fois. The third book I'll be talking about today is called Veronica Decides to Die, for Paulo Coelho, or Veronica Décide de Mourir in the French edition that I have here. Paulo Coelho, of course, everyone knows who this great writer is, with all his amazing books. And this book, Veronica Decides to Die, for me is very interesting because it talks about the very essence of the joy of life. So it tells you the story of a girl named Veronica who, at some point of her life, finds everything meaningless. So she decides to put an end to it and to commit suicide. However, when she was committing suicide, her neighbors find her and take her to the hospital. So basically, she doesn't die. But this is where the story begins. When she is at the hospital, the doctor tells her that she still has like a week to live, only 7 or 8 days, if I remember right. And this is where Veronica begins to acknowledge, let's say, the importance of life. Because before, she wasn't really grateful of this gift that she has. However, when she was living her last days, this is when she began to feel and to understand the meaning of living in the present moment, the meaning of doing whatever we like to do, the meaning of enjoying every second of life. And so I'm not gonna spoil this book for you, but I can tell you that the ending is very beautiful. You cannot really think, you cannot really try to guess the ending. I'm sure you're gonna be surprised by this ending. But it's a book for all people who are really searching to understand the real meaning of life and how to enjoy their lives and how to enjoy every moment. This is the book to read. Veronica decides to die. The fourth and last book I'll be talking about today is called Manuscript Found in Accra, or as I have it also in French, Le Manuscrit Retrouvé. It's also a book of Paulo Coelho, and I can tell you that this is by far one of the most amazing books I have ever read. Why is that? Because this book is not a story like any other story. So basically, there are different stories in this book. It tells you about a meeting that happened between a guy named the Copt and the people of Jerusalem in the 11th century. This meeting happened just before the Crusaders invaded the city. And during this meeting, the people of Jerusalem were always asking this guy questions about mysteries of life, and he was giving them the answers. And all the answers are in this book. So it's a book that tells you about, for example, I'm going to give you some examples about love, about relationships, about violence, about defeat, about anxiety, about the future. There are lots of amazing lessons inside. And what's really beautiful is that it's a book that teaches us how to live in peace with all the mysteries that we don't understand about life. As it is written here on the cover, in a book from the past, you can find all the secrets of our lives. It's a book that tells you that there isn't really any right or wrong, in a sense that you cannot go say that my idea is right, or my opinion is the only one that is right, or my religion, for example, is the only one that is right. We have to coexist with our differences. We have to enjoy our differences. This is what makes the human species special. All the differences that exist between us. So this is what this book is about. I really encourage everyone to read it. Manuscript Found in Accra. So these are the 4 books that I recommend for the time being. Of course, I will be making more videos in the future to talk about the other books that I have read. If you are wondering which book I'm reading nowadays, it is this one. It's a book of David Nichols. It's called, in French, Pour une fois. However, it's originally an English book, so it's called The Understudy in English. It's a very amazing story. I'm not going to talk much about it now because I'm just halfway. However, I already read another book of David Nichols, which is called One Day. I think lots of you already know about it. Very amazing novel. And this is the second one I read of this writer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some ideas if you are searching for some books to read. Please don't forget to like and to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you next time. The second book I'm going to talk about is... no idea. Okay. So, the book talks about 2 people who were... Okay. The third book I'll be talking about today is called... Okay, no, it's called nothing.